Hello, welcome to my Sunday From. Today I have a mukbang and a story time. So, I was just having like a brunch kind of. I have grapefruit juice. It's the 5-calorie grapefruit juice. And I have some creamer and some syrup mixed in. This, I usually just put this with my, like to top warm cereal or my Weetabix bricks. You can stir it, you don't have to. But I have hot cereal. I made instant apple cereal. I put 2 packets in there with some cinnamon, vanilla, ginger, and I also have a water just in case. And then on this plate I just have my Weetabix and 2 oatmeal cookies. And on this plate, I have hot fries with Velveeta cheese and chilies, diced chilies. I just warmed it up in the oven, just like that. So, what I want to do first is try my Weetabix. So I'll take a piece and I'll put it in my cereal like that. Ooh. It just broke apart really easily. And I'll taste it. It's still a little bit hot, so I'm gonna let it cool off, and I'm gonna try my Weetabix. So you can break them up, make it easier on yourself. And I just pour on top, and then I stick a fork in them and kind of move it around, and then let them soak up the milk. Just like that. So yesterday I decided to do a mukbang, and I wanted to do something different. And a lot of places are mukbang friendly, like you can record in there, the restaurant, because we have a lot of TikTokers and YouTube in the neighborhood, and a lot of famous people too. So they always invite me to do different things. So I kind of took an opportunity to ask them if I could record there, and they said yes. But I was kind of doing like a natural look, just more casual. So it didn't take me long to get ready. I always check the news and the weather and make sure that it's safe to go out, because I do live in a very kind of central located area. It's kind of like prestigious neighborhood, although it does have a reputation. So I started hearing noises, like people. They didn't sound like they were singing, or they didn't sound like they were praying. It didn't sound like they were talking to each other. And I thought it was so weird. So as I was walking, I noticed that people weren't looking at me, and I found it strange. And though people notice me everywhere I go, I just look like, you know, what I am, person that does print work and, you know, work on screen and stuff like that. You know, and I also do music, so I get noticed, and people did notice me, but it wasn't normal. So I'm walking, and everybody was so zoned out, and I couldn't understand it. And they were talking really fast. Everybody was just talking really fast. Like, if they needed to say something to each other, they just rushed it. And then I got to the last block before, you know, the location, the block where the location is. I look up and I see, like, so I'm probably like 2 blocks down, and I see this big dark cloud. Look. I'm gonna get some water. And I said, I have the worst luck. I'm not gonna walk over there, because I just wanted to see what was going on. I didn't care if it was weather. I didn't care if it was, you know, a natural wildfire that just sparked up. I didn't care. I just wanted to know what's going on, you know, because we don't live in like a hugely dense population, but we're pretty close. It's a real neighborhood, so, you know, we have all these parks and stuff, but it's a neighborhood, so I'm wanting to know, you know. And for the life of me, I couldn't walk over there. I said, I have bad luck. What if something were to happen? I couldn't walk over there, and my heart sunk. And you're probably like, oh yeah, you have really bad luck. No, I do. Really, really bad luck. Ask my neighbors. So I'm gonna put this milk in here. And so I'm thinking the worst things. As I get closer and closer to the location, it gets darker and darker. And I'm really freaked out, you know, by now. And it's probably not even that noticeable now that I think about it. It wasn't that noticeable, because like people would stop their car and point, and like, you know, like it's just human nature to get curious. But me, I'm always, you know, into weather, and, you know, I like to be, you know, responsible when it comes to where I live. So I do see the skyline all the time, you know, as a means for kind of checking how things are going. But I'm getting all the way to where the restaurant was. And I heard something strange, you know? Like, it was almost like if it was silence, and the conversations that were occurring were detrimental. They sounded like everybody was doing something, you know, like a response. But I didn't see anything. And everybody was like walking kind of like in one spot. And you know, like I was like, oh no, that's not normal. Because we usually, there's so many different things to do. So we usually, you know, like we just go randomly to places and enjoy ourselves. And this wasn't that. So then I go, oh my gosh, I have to do a mukbang. How long is my mukbang gonna take? I can sit and eat for an hour. And I said, no way, I'm just gonna have like fries and burger. And I'm not even gonna sit there and enjoy it. So I opened the door, and you know, like I could feel just like hope just like leaving me. And then I go and I sit down and I order my food and I asked them if I could videotape. And then I started filming, and you could hear people talking, but nobody, it was weird. It was like everybody, including me, was really sad. And they knew, but I didn't know. So it made me even more sad. And although I was in my mukbang and I didn't want to talk and I didn't really want to do it, and I didn't really want to smile. It's just like something in me, like, you know, like you just sense humanity. So I did my mukbang, and I like bust outside, you know, I paid and I bust outside. I'm like, what the heck? Sure enough, people were just in I don't even know how to talk about this. Like they were just so shook. They were shook. They were cursing. People were standing and sitting alone, just their heads covered like this. People just, their face was wet with tears. Like people were literally crying, cursing, and they were comforting each other and consoling each other. And you know, a lot of people didn't want to be consoled. A lot of people were just going through it, and I had to compose myself. So I cut a piece, like a couple of seconds, that I had to recenter myself, you know, while filming. And I kind of covered some people, like if they were visibly emotional. If their face was covered, then I didn't worry. But you can see it in my video. Everybody was upset, and I still didn't know what happened. So I finished my filming, and I started pacing, you know, like hitting the ground. And it's so weird. It's like my brain knew what to do, and my body was reacting, but my, you know, like spiritually I just wanted to fly home and feel safe and feel like everything's good in the world, you know, that my neighborhood, nothing could happen to it. So I walked all the way down and I saw police tape, you know, and I saw a wagon for the deceased, and I saw the Red Cross, and I saw fire trucks and all the police, you know, they were lined up in the intersection. Let me stuff my mouth before I say something stupid. So the Red Cross directed me to view the site. And I noticed the Red Cross wasn't with anybody. And they count minutes for the response because they break records. They literally break world records. Like, you know how we have the Salvation Army, the Y they deploy to events in crisis. Well, the Red Cross breaks literal world records for that. So when I saw they were with each other, I said, ooh. And I'm looking around and everybody's dressed nice. It's Sunday. It's church, you know, Sunday. Why wouldn't they be dressed nice? And it was a fire. And obviously it's going to be a big building because it's these how homes are historic. They're like 3 stories. You know, they got an attic on the top, a basement. Excuse me. So I saw it, and the front was all quemada. It was black, and the back wasn't. So I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I bet the kids all made it. I bet all the kids made it. And I don't know why I thought the kids, like, that's just my brain, because my neighborhood is like, we love kids and everybody wants kids. And when we, during the day, if we can welcome kids in the house, kids are going to come over. So I automatically said, it's a house, people are going to have kids there, right? And hopefully they got out safe. And I said, that smells weird. And I saw them putting out something in the yard. And I said, no. And the more you stood there, the more, you know, I was paying my respects because I saw the wagon. The more I stood there, the stronger, the bigger the olor. It felt like, I don't know how to explain it to you. It felt like I was falling. That's what it felt like. It felt like there was an abyss there at the scene. It felt like devastation was an emotion. And that's how exactly my feelings and sentiment at the time. Because I was devastated. I didn't want to believe that somebody died. But I knew that's what they were doing because the fire was out, and the last thing they pulled somebody out and put the flames out. But it was too late. And I think that maybe there was people upstairs that nobody knew were upstairs, and they were probably not supposed to be there, but they were there. And everybody else made it out, but the people in the top, in the attic, you know, and we get this a lot where people are squatters in attics in Texas. So I already thought like, oh, they were probably in the attic, and they were doing weird things, and the flame was like it was centered up top where the attic little, the windows were. I guess everything was, burnt out, top, bottom. And it was obvious to me, like something was off in the first place. And it took this fire for people, to see what had occurred in that home, and it's kind of scary. It's a private home. So, and there was a lot of discrepancy in describing the victims. Because the Red Cross didn't even know, like they knew which contact they were pointed to, but I don't think they weren't ready yet to accept it. The fire thoroughly destroyed their home, and come to find out, I don't think those people were supposed to be there. And so they kind of reported, that it was only one adult that died, and I don't think that was the case because the smell was very bad. It smelled like, to me, it smelled like 8 adults had perished. That's what it smelled like. But they said there was 2 people that perished. But if they were that badly charred, and they described the second victim as a 2-year-old, and they were that badly charred that they were literally putting them out, dousing them with, But there was a baby that was on the scene that was still alive that they, maybe at the time they didn't want to, like I said, they didn't want to be contacted yet. They hadn't accepted, because some people, their whole livelihoods depend on them having the housing that they have currently. And once, that's gone, their financial situation for their future, you project what you have now in the bank, what you need now to be paid, and then what you have in the future based on that alone. And, you don't even have to add your income because you still are constantly in debt, by having bills. And I'm pretty sure, that was a hard thing to accept. And so I did see people that, were affected. There was children and a bunch of adults, but, they said that they took 7, I believe, children and 7 children and like 3 adults to the hospital. It just sounds so strange. And as much as I'd like to believe we cleaned up the neighborhood a lot, we still have problems with people who break in and try to take our homes. They try to take the deeds, or they try to push and, maneuver power. And because, like, our cops are not that, we've always had this problem. Now, mind you, I go home right away. Let's try this. And as soon as I get there, I'm relaxing, trying to see if they have like a accurate count of victims, and they usually don't, post much, but just had a lot of kids involved, so they did post all night. And not even a few hours later, editing and making TikToks, and I'm trying to continue filming, even though I feel really horrible, and a house explodes. They said 2 adults and 2 children were in the home at the time, and everybody had to go to the hospital. But it's a thing, in the neighborhood, all these old homes and all these big, beautiful homes, for some reason, have been catching fire. I say it's strange, but you never know. Maybe it's something we're doing. Maybe it's something we could be doing better. Maybe it's something we're not doing. We just have to wait until they finish their investigation. But what a horrible time. This Lenten season, to lose things that big. And this reminds me of that. You ever eat at Dave & Buster's? And this reminds me of their food. Did I mention it was a black family? It was a black family that was affected by the fire. I'm not sure about the house explosion. I wasn't there. And all the clips and stuff, like, I didn't see anybody. They took them all to the hospital. And thank you for listening to my story. This is a really lovely mukbang. I just really needed to talk to somebody. So, if you like this video, give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. My song different. Bye-bye.